Mahatma Gandhi ji and Indira ji laid down their lives for the unity and integrity of India, for secularism in India. India cannot survive without secularism. We will do everything to uphold secular values. With all
you recall, most of the problems which we have had in India centered on secularism have resulted from after 1976, when an attempt was made to codify it. There has been a deep sense of anxiety over this lack of even-handedness, that laws are not applicable to everybody uniformly. In December 2006, Dr. Manmohan Singh made a very interesting speech to the fellow chief ministers at the National Development Council. And he said, minorities, particularly the Muslim minority, must have the first claim on resources. Now, is this secularism?
Secularism is to be treated as a political football, then I think our nation is in danger. My own line is exactly the line that Jawaharlal Nehru took in 1952 when he said he didn't care whether he won or not, but he was going to oppose communalism tooth and nail. And I think in the emergence of this character, this ghastly character as the leader of the BJP, we are seeing a really serious threat to Indian secularism arising.
Unofficial political religion of India for the longest time, and even in some circles it still is, or at least they live under the illusion that it is so. So in Indian secularism in practice, put in or both in theory and practice, is the unwritten Quran of Nawab Nehru.
Where my father's family comes from, we recite something called a sohar. A sohar is a recitation when a child is born to celebrate. And my Amma Jan, my grandmother's favorite sohar was what? Her favorite sohar was Allah Miya Hamre Bhaiya Ka Deo Nandlal. Oh God, oh Allah, please give my brother a son like Lord Krishna. This is what secularism has allowed to flourish and prosper.
Incredible violence of the Muslim invasions is something, somehow it's not polite to talk about, but it is a fact. And these facts have not been put into our history books, with the result that we have created a false consciousness in India of what this Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb really is.
We have the L.T. Swaminathan judgment of 54, Ratilal Panchalal judgment of 1954, and all of them say the same thing. And what do they say? Indra Narayan judgment. They say that secularism is one quality in the Indian constitution no one can touch. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that some temporary visitors to the power of India, who are holding temporary holders of power in India, have become so hot-headed, so big-headed, they think they can tinker around. But yeah, you are only guests for 5 years, instead of maybe 10 years or 7 years, whatever. You have no right to tackle and change the basic structure of our constitution.
I don't accept that secularism is under threat for a very simple reason. Look, at the end of the day, secularism was not promoted by a law or by a constitutional belief. It was promoted by the ethos of the society. So, if the ethos of the society was not secular, no law, no constitutional provision would have ensured it. And I don't think the ethos of the society has changed, because I think the ethos of India and the Hindu ethos of India is actually very secular. It's very pluralistic.
The fact of the matter is that Savarkar and his followers put forward the idea of an India that was a Hindu India. So much so that he abuses Ashoka, and Golwalkar follows it up, by saying that this doctrine of non-violence is the worst thing that ever happened to India. And they go on to celebrate hatred, envy. It's on this basis that he produces a vision of India.
The reason being, secularism, the word has been so prostituted that Indian secularism consists in calling other people communal. Then it consists in a completely differential application of the principle.
But secularism was also something like that. It was, see, if you create vote banks with Muslims and divisive politics, that was called secularism. If you appeal to a large section of Hindus and there's Hindu consolidation, then you were called communal. So to me, secularism itself became a form of communalism, because secularism means you treat everybody equally, which we never did. We always favored certain groups, appeased them. There were